to talk about 7 tips that you want to incorporate when you're thinking about bringing some elements of power exchange into your relationship. Hello there, I'm Dr. Nazanin, Moali, licensed clinical psychologist, certified sex therapist, and host of Sexology podcast. Today we're going to talk about how you can use BDSM to spice up your sex life. Maybe you're wondering, what is BDSM? BDSM is an umbrella term that's used for a number of different behaviors, including bondage and discipline, dominance and submission, and sadomasochism. Members of BDSM communities, in that community, there are some groups that they engage in these behaviors as a lifestyle. It's a sexual orientation for them. And we have people who are hobbyists, individuals who use elements of it to spice up their sex life. So if you belong to the second group, this is a perfect video for you. If you want to incorporate some parts of it to make your relationship exciting, this is a right resource. I'm going to talk about 7 tips that you want to incorporate when you're thinking about bringing some elements of power exchange into your relationship. So the tip number 1 is focusing on enthusiastic consent. You want to make sure that you are talking to your partner about what they want and what they don't want. What makes bondage and BDSM behavior sexy is that there's an element of danger, and this is also why it's important for you to have these clear communications about boundaries with your partner. Remember that the key is enthusiastic consent, so your partner needs to be excited about it, want to do it, and also that's something that's reversible. So if we change our mind at any point, there's nothing wrong with that. And all you need to do is to use a safe word, and your partner is gonna stop the behavior. So safe word is a word that you're using as a tool to communicate if you want them to stop the behavior. So make sure that you are choosing that word ahead of time and use it as many times as you want. Tip number 2 is when you start, less is more. BDSM is a skill. Like any other skill, it will take a while for you to learn it, to master it. So it's important to think about, do I have all the right tools and skills in order to have a successful experience? And it depends on what kind of activity you're choosing. For example, if you and your lover or lovers want to kind of experiment with bringing a schoolgirl role play fantasy to life, maybe all you would need is to go to get some fancy, fun lingerie and then watch some clip. And that could be something that all you would need to do. But for example, if you want to incorporate flogging, then perhaps it's important for you to know about what parts of the body they're safe for impact, what parts are not, or if you want to do temperature play, it's important to think about what are some of the kind of areas that I have to avoid. So you might need further information and courses and training. So think about that as you're choosing the activity. Tip number 3 is have a clear communication with your partner about your thoughts and what you want ahead of time. Sometimes we wanted something for the longest time, but we were feeling ashamed about our desire. Maybe we were not sure if our partner was on board or not, and now we feel resentful. It's hard to talk about it. So my invitation for you is to talk about these desires outside the bedroom. Focus on what part of it, kind of communicating with your partner about what part of it is exciting for you, what part you might be interested to explore, and approach it from the place of curiosity and see what your partner thinks. Tip number 4 is that there's a galaxy of options, and choose a small corner of BDSM behaviors. Sometimes people, when they start, they want to incorporate so many different things. Perhaps they want to do a role play, and then they want to kind of incorporate impact play and all sorts of things. And to get overwhelmed. So my invitation for you is to think about incorporating a small part of it, kind of thinking about maybe we want to do sensory play during foreplay. Maybe we want to do impact as part of our kind of core play that we're doing, choosing one activity and then do the rest of the things that you used to do with your partner that you enjoyed, so you're not overwhelming yourself with incorporating so many different things in your sex life. Tip number 5 is the goal is pleasure. If you want to have a great time, remember the idea is not for you, the end goal is not to be able to experience orgasm. Hopefully you will have orgasm, but the idea is to focus on pleasure and what you can do to have exciting new experiences with your partner, with or without an orgasm. Tip number 6 is focus on how it feels, not how it looks. Many people, their first exposure to BDSM is through mainstream media. Maybe you watched 50 Shades of Grey, or maybe you watched Secretary, all of those mainstream movies, and now you're thinking about our sex life when we are incorporating BDSM needs to look like that. But let me tell you something, that is a movie set. Oftentimes there are inaccurate portrayal of what's happening in reality. Real sex is awkward and it can be confusing. So if you're focusing on, am I using this prop correctly, or you're focusing on how does my body look, you get out of your body and you will it will impact your pleasure. So focus on what are you feeling in your body. Tip number 7, talk about the experience afterwards with your partner. Communication is key. Perhaps this is the first time, after the first time you have this experience with your partner, there are areas that you both can improve. Sometimes people, after enacting a fantasy, they realize that the fantasy was so much more exciting and hotter, and they just maybe don't want to do this again. Or at times we get this idea of, honey, you were doing this great and I want more of this other thing. So make sure that you are communicating with your partner about what you like and what they like, and it's like a craft, and make sure you're working on improving this craft as you both communicate about these experiences. If you are interested to learn more about this, I have a very detailed blog post. You can find it below this video. And if you are interested to learn more about the psychology of sex and relationship, make sure you're subscribing to our channel. And thank you for watching this video.